Please welcome Ethan Cisnero and everything he has to share. And we'll go to about 2:20.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much. Nice to meet all of you. My name is Ethan. Ethan from Thirst, as I call myself. And I'm stoked because I think when they hit me up to talk about this, it was initially from what I've done with Thirst and social media. But I actually got my start in shaved ice. And so I've got a special place in my heart for shaved ice. It's where it all started for me. So a little bit about my story, kind of why I'm here, what I've been up to for the last several years. So when I was 16, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. Lawn mowing business when I was little was kind of my first big go of a business. When I was 16, just when my friends started, hanging out with friends was like a priority at 16, right? And I started, there was a local shaved ice shack. It was called Island Flavor in Holiday, Utah, where I grew up. And I was there to hang out with my friends, and I was there to, see all the cute girls that were there, but I was also noticing, like, this is crazy because there's this shaved ice shack that people are going to, and I was literally counting customers and thinking, like, okay, what are the cost of goods on a shaved ice, and how many customers were there today? What's the average ticket seem like? But then I was also like, oh, this is strange. Like, they're here not necessarily just, and I'm here myself, not just to buy a shaved ice and enjoy the shaved ice, but to hang out and to have an experience, and it's like a fun thing to do. And that's entirely what Scott talked about, but it was my first like opening of, okay, this is brand. This is what you call branding and an experience at a food establishment. And so I was like, that's interesting. I think I could do that, but better. And so I went to a school called Olympus High School, and I started what I call Olympus Ice, with a few blocks up the street in a lot. And I found a lease with the property owner, and there was a shack that I found on classifieds, like a shaved ice shack. It was an old coffee drive-through shack, and it was like $10,000-$15,000 on classifieds. And I pitched the person that owned it to split the business 50-50 with me. I can use the shack for free, but I'll run the business. And we created Olympus Ice. And so I did that when I was 16, 17, and 18, my last 2 years of high school, and then the following summer. And it was amazing. And I learned all of the legit things of running a business, how to pay sales tax, and how to have employees, and do inventory, and one by one get customers into the door. And our thing was the experience. And so we would always have games outside, and there was always music playing, and there was like, cornhole boards and little games that people could get out, and we would just make an experience. Every night was a party at Olympus Ice, because I was like, we're selling an experience. And so I did that for 3 years, and it was really, really awesome. And I graduated high school. I wanted to kind of step it up. I was really having fun with the whole business entrepreneur thing. And at the time, I was 18, turning 19, and that was about 7 years ago. And we created what is Thirst. And Thirst is a drive-through and dine-in, depending on the location, experience of what is now fresh-baked soft pretzels, like everything you see in a mall, beignets that we make from scratch, cookies, and then mixed sodas. So everything from Diet Coke with fresh lime to a Lime Ricky or a Mountain Dew with coconut cream and all these different stuff. And yeah, we created Thirst. And so that was in 2016. In 2016, we opened our first store, and it was drive-through right on 1300 South and State Street downtown. If you know the area, basically is like the most ghetto, worst location that you could ever find. But that was my first location. That was about 6.5 years ago. And had this massive grand opening, just coming off the success of Olympus Ice. And I really thought I had it figured out, and had a great grand opening. All my friends and family came, and the next day probably did $110 in sales, like almost next to nothing. And I have this building, I have this lease, I hired all these employees, and literally no one came at first. And it stayed that way, and I worked like every shift for 2 to 3 years, and just slowly, one by one, built a customer base and built a community, what I call the Thirsty Nation. So we're going to talk social media in a minute, but I think everything is about building community. And I started calling my followers and the people that come to the business the Thirsty Nation. I started branding them that way. And slowly, one by one, I built the Thirsty Nation. And so That was in 2016 when we opened, and since then we've opened a lot of different stores. So our second was actually inside the Utah Jazz Arena. We're still in there today. We have 2 different locations on the 2 main concourses in the Jazz Arena. And then our third location was up in Mill Creek. So we opened our second drive-thru up in Mill Creek a few years ago. And then we opened a catering facility, because one of the biggest parts of our business is weddings, corporate events, like coming and catering something like this. And so we'll do soda bars, pretzel bars, beignet bars for any event. And so we opened a commissary location for that. And then our third drive-thru was West Jordan. We opened one over there in West Jordan. We opened a fourth one in Bountiful, a 5th one out in Tooele. We just opened our 6th one in St. George about 6 months ago. And then we have locations in the Rio Tinto Stadium, the Bee Stadium. We have a food truck, and it's been really awesome. So the last 7 years we've grown from the 1 store to now we have a couple hundred employees, and this year we just barely passed over $5 million in revenue. And it's been a heck of a journey and a heck of a ride. And so, yeah, it's been really, really fun. And one of the things that has propelled me into this, and one of the things is my overall strategy, is telling the story of my business on social media. Documenting what I'm doing as an entrepreneur, documenting the growth and the journey of my business, and while also being a real business owner. Like, I think one of the things that is one of my strengths, and I'm so glad I learned it this way, is for 7 years now, I've had to make payroll, and I've had to make a monthly lease payment. And those are like real pressures and real stresses that all you guys know as business owners too. And I've used storytelling, I've used social media to bring new customers into my door that are paying us money, and is a new customer, is a new sale, and translates to business results. And so I like to share my story. I would like to share it with you, and I like to show you guys that I'm a real business owner, and I'm not just a social media guy. I've actually used this to bring customers and I do it today. And so I'm still very much in the grind, in the process, learning everything as I go. And yeah, that's my overall strategy. So what I want to do today is I want to do a shaved ice marketing plan. Like, I think going off of that tangent right there, I want things to be tangible. I want them to actually lead to results. I want it to be like physical, actual things that you can go do. So I figured I'll lay out a marketing plan. But before I do that, my overall take on social media, so social media specifically, is that where everyone is now on social media, right? And everyone's strategy is to try to create the best photo or video or ad or picture that is going to make you want to buy their stuff. Every single person on the platform is trying to do that. It is dang near impossible to break through that. Like, with that many creators on the platform, which is everyone, the way that the algorithm works is the best things get seen to people. The things that are liked by the consumers are going to be seen on a social media platform. You are not going to win the game of the best photo of a snow cone. You're not going to win the best videography on your page. Like, it's just not a game that we're able to win as business owners, because we're also running a business. Where we win is the only unique thing that we have that literally no one else has, which is our own story as business owners, our own story of our business. And so I think this is one of my overall strategies, is just post it. Just literally post it. Like, we cannot win the game of the best. Like, with how the iPhone is now, it's plenty good for the content that we want to post. And so that's number one. Number two is, I think, where it gets just dramatically underestimated, is this is the number one way that we can communicate with customers of all time. And it's like the information highway of all society, Instagram. Let's talk about Instagram, because the main marketing plan that I'm going to go through is around Instagram. Why? Because it's the main communication platform of humans right now. It just literally is. And so I think number one is, we're not going to make ads, we're going to tell our story. But number two is, this is the top priority in my whole company. It's literally in my entire company. My top priority is the content that we're making and how we're telling our story on this platform that connects us with all of our customers. There's literally no other way that we can talk to people, the ones that are buying our stuff, the ones that want to be watching us, other than social media. And so it's the most important thing ever. And so the way I think about it is, and we'll get into this in a second, is one of the things I believe in a lot is community management on social media, which means comments and DMs. A comment or a DM to me is literally the same as customers lining up at my business wanting to ask me a question about the business. I would be stupid not to sit there and talk to every single one of them, answer any questions that they have, any concerns that they have. That would be a good thing to do. I think we all know that as business owners. Why are we looking at a comment or a DM any other way? And so I think just the seriousness of it. The seriousness of social media, it should be literally the top priority. It's the top level of what's making our business a business, is sales. It's our communication platform with our customers. And so I think those are kind of my two prefaces. But I'm going to jump into it. So if I was going back to Shaved Ice right now, and by the way, this is the exact strategy that I use in my business today. And so watch what I'm doing, not what I'm saying. At Ethan from Thirst and at Thirst Drinks are where this goes down. But I would tell you the exact strategy that I would use to market my Shaved Ice business today. So first, I'm going to start on Instagram. The main thing that we're going to talk about is Instagram, because I think it's the biggest upside for you right now to get local business customers. So let's start there. First off is you setting up your account. I like to talk about this because what you're going to want to do here is go very specific, very specific. Everything is about this is depth over width. We want followers that are actually the people that are buying our Shaved Ice coming to our shack, rather than just a follower from a different state or someone that might potentially could never even be your customer. We don't care about the number of followers. We're caring about translating these into sales eventually at some point. So I think number one thing, when you're setting up your account, first thing, username should be extremely specific. My username on Instagram is Ethan from Thirst. It couldn't be more blunt of like what it is. But if I was doing it for one of you guys, whether I own a region, I don't know how it works with like franchise, or you just, whatever, it's a city or whatever, it would be Tropical Snow, that city. We're not trying to be anything that's gonna like amass followers all over. We want followers from Salt Lake City, if we're in Salt Lake City. So it'd be Tropical Snow, SLC, or maybe it's a little bit more broad to your region. So that's how I'd set that up. Second thing on setup is your Instagram page is actually what you call a landing page in website form. So I think all of us know people are going to go to your Instagram page quicker than they're going to go to a website, especially for a Shaved Ice, right? So this should be set up exactly the same. When you go to a website, they customize things. People that are good at this on web, I'm not, is they customize things that are going to immediately grab your attention and want you to stay and figure out the gist of whatever it is that you want to do on that web page, right? Well, that's the same with an Instagram page. So what does your bio say? Does it make it very clear who you guys are, what you guys sell, what your address is? What are your Instagram story highlights? Do they promote the things that you want to be selling? Do they tell you about, is there a quick hook to how to inquire for catering? Or is there a quick hook to get directions to the store? Do each of the highlights outline clearly what it is you do? If I go to an Instagram profile, a good one for a business, I should be able to look at the profile and quickly in 30 seconds be able to tell what they're selling, what their gist is, what the story is. And so for me, the way I'd set up Instagram story highlights is number one, our story. The first highlight is our story. And the way that I would film and create that piece of content is literally, like I said, the only thing that we have that no one else has on the whole platform. I'd flip the camera around, go selfie, and then say, hey, how's it going? My name is Ethan. Or if you guys don't feel comfortable doing this, your manager, your employee that's there, my name is so-and-so. I'm here at Tropical Snow in Virginia. We are selling great snow cones out here. We started here. We wanted to open a business because of this. A story. It's way more likely to convert. They're way more likely to relate if that first story highlight is your story. Number two is your menu. Like, what do you sell? Why should they come? Can they get a clear view of what's going on there? And then location, catering, all of these things, you guys know them better than me. What do you quickly want to be telling your customers about when they're looking at your page? So it's a landing page. Your Instagram page is your landing page. Now, when I think about how to do social media, after we set up the account, we're talking about Instagram mainly, I think about things in three different kind of areas. Number one, the content. You have to post content, right? Number two, you have to do distribution, content and distribution. If no one's watching the content, then it doesn't matter if you're posting it or not, right? You have to distribute your content. You must build the community. So content, distribution, and community management, the third. Take care of the followers that you do have before looking for new ones. And we'll go into exactly what that means. But content distribution and community management. Let's start with the content, because we're going over the whole marketing plan. What I would do with the content is 2 posts per day on Instagram. Where the algorithm currently sits, I believe the best, most strategic way that fits in with the algorithm is 2 posts per day. What do those posts look like? Well, a feed post is either informing someone about something. That can be your menu, that can be your hours, that can be a new special that you have. It can be a new snow cone of the week. It can be, who's working that day, or it can be entertainment. It can be a really good, and entertainment can come in a bunch of forms. It can be like food porn type of entertainment, right? Like really good looking, delicious ice and getting shaved over. Or it can be a TikTok dance. Maybe it's like you have whoever the employees are, or you yourself out there doing a little dance with it. Or it's a funny video, a little skit that you guys make up about something. It's information or entertainment. That's how you do every single post. And so a lot of the times, it's still tough to get past there. And I've been there because we want to be posting consistently. It's good for the algorithm. It's good to be communicating with the customers that much, but sometimes you feel like it's difficult. One of the key things when you're running out of things to post about to get to that 2 per day is maybe you're not doing enough things to post about in your business. So that means it could be, maybe it's a Treat Yourself Tuesday. Maybe it's a Thirsty Thursday. Maybe it's a weekly, community update of what's going on in the community that you're selling. Do more things at your business. Have promos. Do things that you can post about. You should be documenting the story of your business through information and entertainment. And not a post that doesn't align with information or entertainment is really hot day out there today. Would love to see you guys all for some shaved ice. It doesn't give any value to the follower. And so information or entertainment twice per day. And if we run out of things, then start doing more things to post about. Run promos. Think of new creative content ideas. Do things as a business that you can just simply document and find success in. The way that we do that at Thirst is we have a Mommy Monday promo that we do. So there's a promo every Monday. It's a piece of content that we can have that can inspire a funny video. That could be, just a physical photo, but it gives us something on Mondays. On Tuesdays, we do Treat Yourself Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, we do a giveaway usually for what we do on the weekend. We focus on the weekends is every single weekend we do a weekend feature at Thirst. On Friday and Saturday, it's actually how I met Scott, the previous speaker, is we featured his business on our menu as an idea to collaborate. But every single weekend, this weekend we're doing breakfast pretzel pockets at our stores. Every single weekend we're doing things, and it makes it really easy. We have too much stuff to post about usually because we're doing so many things as a business. And so that's just kind of an example of what I mean there. So content. Now we're drilling our content on the feed. Next, we're going to look at the Instagram stories. This is actually how I found most of my success on Instagram since building it, is Instagram stories. They're kind of my style. They fit. What I think Instagram stories are the rawest, most authentic updates of your business. Where the feed is a summarization of what's going on, the promos, maybe a daily update today. It was really fun to see all you guys tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Here's some stuff we learned from today. Maybe that can be a feed post. Your stories are 10 to 30 stories a day on Instagram, 10 to 30, that are an authentic version of telling your story. What I think, number one to 3 of them have to be every single day. Either you or the employees working are updating. A simple update. It can be on your checklist of opening and closing. It's send in the social media manager or the owner of the business a video of you in the shop. And I have all my managers do this. My managers have their own Thirst accounts that we have them post on because it's content for us to tell the story of our business. And it gives it a location-specific spin. So I have, my manager out in St. George or West Jordan. What up? It's Anthony from West Jordan today. We just pulled out the cookies here at West Jordan. They're super fresh. All of that is content to tell our story. And so I think number 1, it has to be a video of that. Number 2, engage with your audience. Come up with more things to do. Use all the features on Instagram. Use the question sticker. What's your favorite flavor shot? Ask us a question about how things work. Which product do you want to see us make? There's a million different things to do. And then once you start engaging and rolling with people, then a lot of it can be reposts of other people. So 10 to 30 stories a day is the marketing plan that we have for Instagram. So we do 2 posts a day, 10 to 30 stories a day. And then our content's pretty dialed in. We're on Instagram, our profile's set up, we got our highlights on there, we got the bios on point, we're posting twice a day, we're consistent, we're 10 to 30 on the stories, but no one's really watching it. Like no one knows who we are or to follow us. Then we gotta go into distribution mode. My favorite all-time distribution strategy, and this is literally my top strategy of all. Like this will drive more sales to your business than anything. Go onto Instagram, hit the search button, filter by location, search your location, Milwaukee. Go to, then it will pull up all the posts in that area. And there's 2 filters, there's top or recent. Top is all of the influencer people posting in your area. Recent is Joe Schmo in your area posting. I go to recent because we'll talk about influencers in a minute and a strategy for them. This is a better one. This will drive more sales tomorrow. This is how I built Thirst too. Go search your city where you're trying to sell in. Go to recent. Go to every single person posting in the area that you are. Every person in Milwaukee posting and say, hey, my name is Ethan. I have a snow cone shack just down the road. I noticed that your post, just be honest, like we're not lying, this is not scammy, we're trying to earn their business. Hey, my name is Ethan. I have a snow cone shack just down the road. I noticed through the search function on Instagram that you were posting here in Milwaukee. I would love the opportunity to earn your business. I would love to have you in for a free shaved ice on me, no purchase necessary. You don't have to buy anything. Just let me know how your experience was. You can redeem it by, showing this message, a coupon code that you have on your POS, whatever it may be. You can send them a picture, one by one, and then they'll say, hello, no one's ever gotten this, by the way. Like, I know you guys are probably all on Instagram. You might get some spammy DMs. You have never, I can guarantee, pretty much never gotten one that humbly from a business owner with offering you to buy, we're in shaved ice. This is my favorite part about our business is the cost of goods can actually be a marketing expense sometimes. Shaved ice, because it's really cheap, and it's cheaper than forking out money for ads or to pay an influencer. Hey, I would love the opportunity to earn your business. Come on in, you don't have to buy anything, just a shaved ice on me. If you like it, great, it'd be awesome if you come back by, but honestly, just let me know how your experience is, and we'll see you around. I'll probably be there. Like authentic. It will drive so much business to your shacks. It's unreal. And so this is what I did with Thirst. Literally when we were slow, every single night till my thumbs hurt, I would message people and they would respond. And then I would respond back. Like it's not like a copy paste thing. This is a thing where you're going into their profile and seeing, oh, this person likes dogs. Hi, my name is Ethan. I own this business called Thirst down the road. We have free dog treats with every order. I noticed you like dogs. Like, it's called work. It's a lot of work, but it is the quickest way on social media, the communication platform of our society, to 1, get a new customer to the door, 2, they're probably gonna follow you too, especially if your page is set up right and you're posting good content. So you just got a follower, you just got a new person to the door, and as you guys know, like 10 to 20 more people a day can help. Like it can really help, and if your experience is on point, like Scott talked about, and brings them back and we're remarketing to them, which we'll talk about in a second, that's all that matters. And so that is my top strategy. Like we still do it. We still do it around our individual 6 different drive-through stores. We still send hundreds of DMs a week. They respond. Scott.
Can you actually say how you do that? For example, like if you do that at every store, every day, like when do they do that? Is it one of your team members?
Yeah.
Do you give them 15 minutes to do it? Do they do it before the shift starts?
Yeah.
Do it after? How do you actually do it?
Yeah, so on Instagram we went over, right? You search function, you go to recent or top. You can go to the top. Those are going to be your influencers, but we'll talk about those in a second. I like to go recent because they don't get any messages. Like if you're not popular, you're not getting very many messages. And so it's not hard to break through. And so the actual tactics, that's how you do it on Instagram. The way I did it back in the day was all me, right? And that's how you do it when you're starting. You can't afford to have anyone else do it. So it was all me back then. I think one of the things that's highly underutilized, even in my business today, is day-to-day labor that is just sitting there doing nothing, right? And so this is a huge strategy for that. Let me tell you why I like it coming from us, though. So I'll be transparent. Now it comes from our marketing team, and we're training them to be authentic. And we do it this way. So one of our marketing assistants' name is Belle. hey, my name is Belle from Thirst Drinks marketing team. I was looking on the search function and I saw you work there. We would love to earn your business, yada, yada, yada. It's the same, it's honesty. It's like authentic honesty. And they respond, and one of our top things is we always reply back because we don't want to look like we're just spamming people and not replying, right? So that's how we do it now at this scale, where I simply don't have the time to do that. But I still do a little bit from my account when I'm feeling a little extra. But yeah, I think labor is underutilized too. And so I think back in the snow cone days, this strategy didn't exist back then because Instagram wasn't the thing when I was in shaved ice, but now it is. And I think some of the things we have our employees do when they're slow is something like this, or making TikToks, or being part of that content. And it's simple. It's like if you take it as seriously as operations, if you take it as seriously as your finance in your business, this is a thing that you would build out a checklist for. Just like the closing procedures that you have, is building out a checklist of how to search, what type of messages to say, how to respond. And so that's kind of how we've scaled it. That's a good question though. So that's my number one tool for distribution. Then you're building one-by-one followers, then you're bringing people into your store. The number two most underutilized thing is influencers. And it's gotten to a point where, okay, now influencers are very much a thing. It's very much a marketing strategy, and there can be prices coming along with it. But the best way, I think, to find influencers, a lot of people ask, how do you know if it's worth paying this influencer? Well, start by finding them in your community. If they're not in your community or some other way, other than posting in the actual location, if they're not following tons of people you follow and you don't know for a fact that they're in the community you're selling in, that's not a good influencer. So I think this is one of the best ways to find influencers, is to use this same strategy. So we're going back to the search function, we're typing in Milwaukee, we're looking at top posts now. And we're going into each of them. And the way that you kind of judge this is you look at their profile. You do your homework on them. Is this someone that's legit? Is this someone that fits in with the people that would come to my business? What is their following like? And kind of the rule that we have with Thirst is, and this is what I would do back in the day, anytime someone's over 10,000 followers that are any like real whatsoever to our community, we hit them up and say, we would never like you to pay at Thirst again. And we don't ask for anything. We don't ask for anything. Like there's too much of I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna get this in return. We don't ask. You go in, they have more leverage than you. You're a snow cone shack locally with 0 followers. They have 10,000 plus followers that are real. You can't ask them for anything. So you go in there and you say, hey, how are you? Same pitch, same authentic pitch. Hey, my name is Ethan. I own a snow cone shack just down the road from you. I found you in the search function. I really love what you're doing with your content. This is one thing I like about it because I watched 3 videos. And then I say, hey, I have this shack. I would love for the opportunity to have you over. I don't want you to pay at all. If I can set up a credit for you to know. Like at Thirst stores, we have phone number system and we can add credit to them, so that's how we do it. But it could be a coupon or a gift card that you'll leave for them. Or one way to wow it is, I've left a $200 gift card at the register for you if you ever want to come by. That's what I used to do in the old days. Like, just go in and over-deliver, over-ask, or not over-ask, over-deliver, give more than you're asking for because you don't have a lot of leverage with them. And so that's the way I do it. And what's advantageous in our business, we shouldn't be paying for influencers a lot. Why? Because our cost of goods is cheap. So you can get people in. Free snow cones for their family some night when they're looking for something to do is advantageous for them. And they don't want to pull out their credit card and pay most of the time. And so it's huge and it feels exciting for them. They never want me to pay at the snow cone shack again. Like, people want to be influenced. They like feeling that way. And so it's been a really good way. And not to say that we're tricking them in any type of way, but like, we are providing them with value. And so we've really gone all in with influencers. I think every single influencer should be reached out to and you should try to make a connection with them. If they don't have like an insane amount of followers, like maybe less than 10,000, like, you know, the average 500 to 1,000 up to that 10,000, you can offer them a lower credit. We'd still love to get those in. There are thousands of people in your community that are following these people. And I think that's so powerful that this is the next step in your marketing plan is to develop your own brand rep program. Brand rep program. This is something that is absolutely crushed for us. So I was DMing everyone, right? This is like 2017. I'm DMing everyone till I can barely even stay awake anymore. Then I'm like, okay, now I'm noticing that these individual people are really powerful. I couldn't get in connection with these big influencers, but these individual like local community people are really powerful. And then I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, okay, when you're on Instagram, you're scrolling like this fast, right? And then you see a sponsored ad, like someone paid for it to be in there. All of us know this. You're going twice as fast. You're not looking in that one. You saw sponsored at the top. Then maybe you see this person that you follow, maybe like fishing. This guy has 100,000 followers. He's a pro fisher. He's promoting something, right? Because you know he got paid to do it. You're still going past him pretty quick, right? But if your friend Joe, who you're buddies with in high school, is posting specifically, like Joe really doesn't even post that much. He's Joe Schmo. He doesn't really post that much. But he's posting specifically about about a brand and something that he's doing when he barely really ever posts, and it's totally out of norm for him to do that. You're totally slowing down to half right there to see what's going on here. And I started thinking about it that way. I'm like, these followers, micro-influencers as we'll call them, your brand rep program is built up of micro-influencers that have followers that are seemingly more powerful than the followers of an influencer. Because all day they're promoting stuff. Joe Schmo never promotes anything. And he's got 500 followers in Milwaukee that could be real customers to you. And so I had this realization, I'm like, brand rep program. And so what we did is we posted about, hey, we're creating a brand rep program. Want to be a brand rep for our company? And remember, everyone wants to be an influencer on Instagram. I think we all know that. Like all the kids coming up, like everyone wants to do that. So we got an insane response, and we basically created tiers. So if you have, everyone had to be approved and invited after they applied, but if you have 0 to 500 followers, you get $15 in credit per month. And when you use your credit, you have to post on your Instagram story and tag us. And at the end of the month, we'll go see if you used your credit, and if so, how many times you mentioned us in the DMs, and then we'll say, okay, we'll up and renew with them for the next month. 500 to 1,000, maybe gets 20, 25, and it's all these different tiers, and you're building these reps in your own community that are stoked because they're getting free product. You're paying nothing. They're usually bringing someone with them that's buying something, or they, used all their credit and also bought something else, or ran out of their credit after the first week. And you're making it's like a cost-free way, essentially, to get all these new customers to your business and to get in tons of awareness. So developing your own brand rep program. Write out a little structure of how much gift card credit they get based on how many followers, and then either post about it and say we're taking brand reps, or go out and find them. DM people 500 to 1,000 posting in your community and say, hey, would you like to be a brand rep? All you got to do is post in your story when you come and tag us, and you get free snow cones. Super easy. So brand rep program, reaching out to influencers, know which ones are real, which ones are not going to do you any value. We only want local community customers. All right, now we're distributing our content. We've DM'd a lot of people in the community. Now influencers are posting about us. Now your everyday Joe Schmoes are posting about us. We're starting to build our following. The last way I'll talk about to distribute is collaborations. Collaborations are massive. And the way to do this is to exactly kind of how I met Scott, is another local community, either it's an influencer, it's a person, it's a business. Businesses are going to be the best way to do it. Reach out to other businesses that have similar followers or followers that you would like to gain attention from, and find a way to collaborate, whether it's some type of feature, whether it's a giveaway that you guys do. Hey, a free $20 gift card to my Snow Cone Shack plus a $20 gift card to the local movie theater, or whatever it may be. Follow both accounts and like this photo in order to be entered. Collaborate with others, post and reshare each other's things. Like, this is like the final way that we distribute, and it's the tried and true method, right? It's what everyone sees. But now we're in our marketing plan. We've now set up our profile. We're posting content consistently. Now we're distributing it. We're starting to build a following. We're getting people into our door one by one. We're not really worried about the followers. We're more worried about how many of these people are legit and actually could come by a snow cone one day. And number 3, when all that's going good, a lot of people just kind of stop there. Remember how we got here and why we DM'd every single one. These are our actual customers. To me, this is literally the same as if, I don't know, like, as if like they were all sitting here in front of me and like they had the opportunity, like a follow is real. A follow is real with a customer. A comment is real. A concern is real. Ev don't have the audacity to not respond, like ever. And so I think it comes from a place of gratitude, but it also comes from a place of like, don't you want these people to buy what you have? It makes sense for you to DM them back or to respond to their comment. And so content, distribution, and then community management of that community that you're building. Those are the 3 pillars. And I'm stoked to answer any questions about it and let you guys know kind of what we've done and how we've done it, because we've been doing it for a long time. And we're still learning every second. And like I said, with me, watch what I'm doing, not what I'm saying. Like this is learning by doing, as we call it. And so, yeah, Ethan from Thirst and at Thirst Drinks is kind of where we do that. But yeah, I would love to open it up for questions if that's okay.
If you could just remember to repeat the question
Yeah.
that they asked.
Yeah, happy to answer any questions about, like I said, definitely learning as I go, but about scaling, the multiple locations, marketing, whatever it may be. So, yeah.
I have 2 questions. One, I was trying to do the search thing.
Uh-huh.
My Instagram, you're talking, and I'm a tech granny.
Yeah, let's do it together.
So if you could show me that, that would be good. And 2, when you talk about influencers,
Uh-huh.
I did a charity golf event. I had an ex-NFL Hall of Fame nominee
Uh-huh.
post my product on his page. It didn't lead to any more followers, or what is that about?
So let's start here. Yeah, that's a good question.
40,000 followers. I may have gotten 2 more followers.
Yeah. Okay, first let's get into that for sure. First, what we're gonna do is look at this actual search function. So I searched Salt Lake City. Oh shoot. And then next I filtered it by places. So at the top, right under the search bar, there's accounts, audio, tags, or places. You can go far right to places.
You gotta show them our friends. It's an icon. It doesn't say it's on the next tab, right?
What's that?
The icon, not the words.
So search function right here. Then go up into the search bar, type Salt Lake City. Oh yeah. Salt Lake City. Then filter with the top right filter, which is places. Click on my city. And now there's top and recent. And into there. So she asked about an influencer that she worked with and led to zero results. You know, obviously there's a million things that could be under the hood, right? We'd have to look at it specifically. But I think a big part of it is, are you doing the other parts of the equation? So we learned this in a very interesting way, where we used to do these giveaways with influencers and collaborations all the time. And we found that if we weren't posting consistently, like during the collaboration, right after it, aka the times where this influencer posted about you, and you have 2 seconds, right, when that influencer's followers looks at your page, just like the importance of that landing page, was the landing page set up to receive that follower correctly? Were we posting content once they did come to the page? So I think a lot of the times are the other pieces of the puzzle in line when the distribution comes. Because remember, if you get a lot of people to come to your page and there's no content there, why would they follow? That's why content and distribution need to be part of the equation. I think the other part of it is that homework of, were these followers, real? Were they local and like actually interested in buying your product? So there's a million things, I think, but I think also, what's that? No, I was just gonna say, I think also it takes a lot. Like a lot of people put all their eggs in one basket. I'm saying DM hundreds that won't charge you anything, right? And don't put all your eggs in one, because we just don't know. We don't know if those followers are exactly gonna convert. We don't know if that's gonna be the biggest win with that one thing, right? And so I think a lot of people do it once and don't find the success that they were maybe looking for. Well, there's a lot of different people out there and a lot of different influence that you could work with. So that's why I like Shaved Ice and the ability to do it so often and so consistently with our cost of goods. But I hope that helps a little.
On the influencer thing, while you may not have gotten a lot of followers, I think there's also some additional value that could be. So you could then use and repost his image So while there may not be an additional follower in that moment, but you're just like
It builds brand.
more,
Yeah.
and you're building your legitimacy with your audience. And then when future people go to your feed and see that he's in there, they're like, oh, that's cool. They follow, they share, they do stuff.
Yep. It's a long game. Like, it takes a lot. Like, I think a lot of people don't find success quick, whether it's in their posts or an influencer that they work with or 3 DMs that you sent. Like, it's a long game. I think people need to see you multiple times for things to work too. So I think that's a great point. Yeah.
Is Instagram more effective than Facebook?
Depends on the demo. So we're actually finding a ton of success with the older demo in Facebook. So Facebook Reels is something that's really crushing for us right now. There's a lot of organic reach in there. Our main demo is what I call it, the Thirsty Moms. It's a mom driving a Suburban full of kids coming in after school. And the moms love Facebook. And so Facebook groups has been massive for us. This should actually be part of your marketing strategy. There's a local community Facebook group with people that live in your community, want to support the local businesses in your community in Facebook. And so in Facebook, under groups, searching your city and finding and joining and becoming part of the community that you're selling in is going to be a massive strategy. Yeah.
So you gave a ton of like stuff to do. How much time in the beginning were you devoting to all the work you're talking about versus now?
Yeah. What's that? I guess how much time, he was asking how much time I spend on all of these tactics now versus back then. I mean, the answer is back then, always. But now, it's still a top priority. And so the way I do it is, we have our main Thirst Drinks account. I created an Ethan from Thirst account to give another level of authenticity and to tell the story from a business owner's perspective than not necessarily just the business. And so I think it's so important that I double down on it all day. In fact, like, I'm trying to scale my business out and have someone fully over ops and fully over finance and fully over marketing so that I can do this another level of it. And so I think it's still my very, very, very top priority. I'm also operating my company right now. And so I've kind of built out these same strategies and treated them the same as operations. Like I was saying with like a closing checklist. It's that important. I think people put operations on a pedestal and then don't think it's as important to do that same thing for marketing. There should be checklists for marketing. There should be, this is how to make a post. This is what the standards are of replying to a post. And so I put it on a pedestal of importance and have built out my operations. The same way I'm scaling operations, I'm trying to do that same thing with marketing. So that's how it's at. Yeah.
Kind of tangent on that, maybe just elaborate a little bit. You were saying in some cases it's your manager. Do your employees ever make these posts? And if so, how do you proof them to make sure that they're what you want out there for your brand?
Yeah, that's a good question. So he's asking who makes all the posts. So both. The answer is both. So what we have our managers do is every one of our management positions in our company has their name from Thirst. Remember, it's blunt. We're not caring about the amount of followers. We want the people in West Jordan to follow Anthony, our general manager of the West Jordan store. And so the way we do it is we have them make their personal accounts. They put some personal content about them running their store on there. And then our main account reposts it. But as far as our business account, like our main At Thirst Drinks channel, we have our employees do it. I mean, especially for product-centric things. Like, here's our new product of the week. Here's our weekly special. Here's these things. Like, that stuff kind of thing can be scaled. And then we scale me, and we scale Rachel, who's walking here too, is my marketing director. We bunch videos. Hey, Rachel will grab me, or one of her employees will grab me. Hey, we're gonna film a video about the weekend feature for all stores right now. And then we'll film, hey, Tooele, it's Ethan from Thirst. I'm just out here this weekend. We have pretzel pockets. Boom. Hey, West Jordan, it's Ethan from Thirst. Would love to earn your business this weekend. We have pretzel pockets. Boom. And we do that 6 different times, and then they'll go out and edit that content and post it strategically and individually. And so we've been able to do that. I mean, also with filtering how good the content is or if it's appropriate, same thing as operational style checklists. I look at it operationally. Like, these are the standards of how to do it. I'm gonna come in and train you. Let me do this 4 TikToks with you. Watch me do it, watch you do it. You're good to go, and follow up. It's the same way I treat operations. I'm doing that for marketing. And so yeah, that's how I'd answer that question.
How, just to build off of Todd's
Yeah.
comment, how do you make sure that manager doesn't post something that is like going to get your business in trouble?
By not over worrying about it, to be honest. Like, I think apart from the extremities, like, I don't think that one post is going to kill us. I really don't. Like, and I'm not so much worried about the quality or nailing it every single post. It's very much like, this is the authentic story of our business, and it's, at the end of the day, like, what could really, really put us out of business? Like, if someone's posting something that bad, we didn't train them well enough, and we definitely didn't have good enough guidelines and procedures in place. And so that's the way I think about it. Like, I'm not dead over a bad post or a bad photo, because we're going to post 2 more times that day on the feed and 50 on the story. And I think that's the best part about the algorithm. The best part about the algorithm is it doesn't show people things, even to your own followers, unless people like it, right? And so when you post a photo or a video or on any platform, that's how all the algorithms work. First thing it does is show it to a few people. Just a few. If those people like it, then it thinks more people are going to like it. And the more people like something, the more money they're going to make, because Instagram's going to make, because people will stay on the platform, and thus ads can be sold on the platform. So it works in your favor. If things aren't good, they won't be seen. That's why I really don't worry about it, is a bad photo or a bad post, apart from the extremities, won't really be seen. And so the algorithm works in our favor. That's why I think posting more is good. You can't really post too much. If people stop liking it, they just won't see it. They'll like it as often as they're going to like it anyways. And so, that's kind of my approach to that.
How much do you spend on paid versus free content? And so that Facebook, you can buy Facebook ads.
Yeah. We right now do 100% organic. And I would rather pay someone to sit here, because of the strategy with the scrolling, I would rather pay someone to sit here, pay them 10, 15, 20 bucks an hour to send authentic DMs and genuinely have conversations with people and bring them in all day and do that DMs than run ads right now. Because the problem with ads is they're math-based. They can work, don't get me wrong, they can totally work, but you have to be extremely good at them. And there's a lot of ads on the platform right now where we have local businesses and we have something that most people don't have, which is a cheap product that we can give to the person the first time to try to earn their business. To me, it makes a lot more sense to go the DM route, like the one-by-one strategy, organic content route, than the paids. But that's how we do it. That's how I think is best in our model. Not to say it can't work, but yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah,
For us older generation
sure.
that doesn't do much on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
nothing much at all,
Uh-huh.
just now starting to do the Facebook thing. In your recommendation being, a young man,
That's okay.
business entrepreneur, would you think it would be valuable for us older generations that's not into this, maybe to hire somebody to do what you had just said, just to sit there and help with social media?
Totally understand what you're saying, yeah.
Would that, instead of hiring like somebody to help make the shave eyes, maybe getting somebody with the knowledge of that?
Yeah, I'll start here. There's tons of people your age that are crushing it and aren't posting. Here's the thing, not that to say that you maybe are I don't know you, but you look like you actually could be this person. But maybe you're not the person that wants to be, the person on the camera, right? But there's plenty of people your age that know the platform really well, how to post, what's working, like what other brands are doing. So going back to the take it seriously, I think, in one man's opinion as an entrepreneur, it's the most important thing in my business, and so I want to know how it works. So if I were you, even if I was going to scale it out and bring someone in to help me, I wouldn't be bringing someone in to help me. I would be bringing someone in to help me that I was training, because I already figured it out myself. You have to be dangerous enough in it, because I think a lot of people are paying $1,000 a month to a social media agency, $500 a month to a social media agency, which is really money down the toilet. I really do believe that it is, because we're not trying to make ads. We're trying to tell the story of our business, and how could an agency do that, right? So I think my answer to you would be, if it doesn't lie in your interest to go all in and learn it, then I think you need to, if you love your business, go all in enough to learn it so that you can be dangerous and audit it, So you could bring someone in to really, make sure they're not full of crap, essentially, right? I think you went first, and then I'll go up.
Take it
Yeah.
back too far, but now that I found out how to do the search thing,
So you're going to go. No, I like it because you're going in. You're like, I'm not even waiting until this is over. I'm going to go. So then you go, do you see the top of recent? So you go into recent, and then those are all the people posting in that city that you did, right? Now you're going to click on their profile. You're going to look. First, is this a real human? Yes. Okay. What are they posting about? What are they from? Maybe their bio says. Maybe they're posting about things. And then you hit message.
Those are people you DM.
Yeah, those are the people. Yeah. So you go in one by one there. Yeah. Yeah, that's you.
Sorry. What's your personal opinion on Insta versus TikTok?
Yeah.
We're trying to decide, do we want to go in on TikTok or just Insta? It's a whole other beast.
Yeah, I think the answer is to do both, no question. Like, the answer is no question to do both. We are absolutely crushing it on TikTok. Rachel's heads up our TikTok. We have 3 times the following on TikTok that we do on Instagram. I think we have 36,000 followers on Instagram, and TikTok is 75 or something like that. We're absolutely crushing it. It doesn't drive them as much day-to-day sales as at our local brick and mortar business. Now, where we want to scale and be a nationwide brand and sell franchises everywhere one day, it makes a ton of sense for us to do that. But the reason I came up here and was like, we should do Instagram for our local snow cone shacks is because I've had a local snow cone shack, and I know that having 50,000 followers on TikTok from all over the world is not as advantageous as 500 Instagram followers that live in your community. The way the algorithms work on TikTok versus Instagram, it's way easier to directly communicate with the people that are following you on Instagram. If you guys know TikTok at all, you know what page do you look at? The For You page, not so much your followers. And so Instagram to me is more talking to my customers. TikTok is where we are looking for new customers, right? And posting things that are organically, hopefully going to catch and be a viral piece of content. And so I think they're both, not to shade on TikTok at all, we do get new customers for it, but I think it's more of a nationwide brand building tool for us than a day-to-day sales driver. Yeah.
Maybe a couple more questions and then we'll take a break.
Do you have a hub that you use for all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, where you can respond from one central place, or are you using each one separately?
We use each one. We use Planoly for our content scheduling. Yeah, it's Planoly is what we use for our content scheduling. There's tons of scheduling platforms that you can use out there. But yeah, that's how we do it. And then individually go in and respond to those comments. Yeah.
One more question? Anybody? Okay.
I get it. Okay. Just kidding. Thank you guys so much. It was really nice to meet you guys. Thank you, Sam.